Welcome to Google, everybody. Hands up if you've been here before. Amazing. Fun fact, the internship application window is soon opening. So hopefully that means you can all be here again very, very soon. So my name is Ticha. I work here as a program manager. I work on our talent outreach team at Google. I've been here for 5 years, and prior to being a talent outreach PGM, I worked on the cloud recruitment team, working with senior leaders across EMEA to understand their growth ambitions, their hiring gaps, and then work with them and the recruitment teams to plug those gaps, essentially. I pivoted into this PGM role, I want to say October 2023. And my role now is all about working with people like yourselves, the sort of next generation of talent, trying to work on different programs that are going to do two things primarily. One, put a spotlight on the many different career opportunities at Google. And two, think about ways in which we can best prepare you. And that can be through various different methods. It could be through hackathons or mentorship programs. And I'll allow Stuart to introduce himself.
I'll just have to shout. So I'm Stuart, so I work closely with Ticha. I work more on the recruiting side, so if you do end up applying for graduate roles or to internships, I support all the recruiters that actually do a lot of the kind of hiring for that. So I work in the background on a lot of those bits and pieces. Like Ticha, I also started in the cloud org, a very similar role to what Ticha was doing back almost 7 years ago now, so I don't want to give my age away too much. Before Google, I was at Apple, so I've always kind of been in the tech space. I was at Apple for about 7 years prior to joining Google nearly 7 years ago. So I think, Ticha, we'll talk about culture first.
Yes. So I get asked a lot of questions. Primarily, the first one is always, what's it like to work at Google? And I think the next couple of slides will hopefully give you all a bit of an insight into what I think the biggest, I guess, allure of me being here is certainly. Let's go next on this. So, Googlers have meaningful impact. It's no secret that our products are used by millions, if not billions, of people globally. So I think what that means for me personally is whatever your role is, no matter how big or how small, it's a significant one and it has impact. We're very big on product inclusion. You don't necessarily need to be in a product team to support the growth, the development, the testing of products. There's tons of different threads internally, like dog food, for example, where you get the opportunity to test Google products. I'll use Gemini as an example. I think that was released internally maybe 6 to 9 months prior to it going public. So we got a great opportunity to play with that. Sharing Google products with our communities. We're very big on community outreach. To give an example, the Grow with Google team worked to release Raspberry Pi, which is like a personal device to, I think it was over 1,000 students in Chicago. Google impacts our internal processes. I think it's quite unique to be in a company where you have the opportunity to look at things from a bird's eye view perspective and say, actually, things could be slightly better or different if we went about doing things a certain way. And so we have employee resource groups such as the Black Googlers Network, which work with interviewers to make sure that they're trained against things like unconscious bias. We work together, not the same. Flexible work schedules. I mean, it's awesome to be in an environment where we want people to be set up for success. And for me, what that means is you have the opportunity to work in places with people that are best supported for you. Hybrid and non-traditional workspaces. I could go on and on and on about how awesome the Google offices are. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to do a tour or anything like that, but there's gyms, the massage rooms, the nap pods, the games rooms, the music studios, the kitchens. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit too much, if I'm being completely honest, but at the same time, I'm at a place now where I couldn't do without. We have accommodations teams which work with people on a one-to-one basis. I use this term a lot, to make sure that they're set up for success. So what does that mean? It means that if, for example, you are someone who likes to stand while you work, we'll set you up with a desk that elevates. If, for example, you are someone that likes to work in a very, very quiet space, we'll arrange a place in the office where that's suitable. And yeah, we're very big on health and wellness. I mentioned the massages earlier, but there's tons of opportunity. Oh, sorry. There we go. Google's a culture which is very big on self-development and improvement. You know, we have things called grow classes, which for me are pretty awesome. It's like an opportunity to upskill in a space where maybe you just want to upskill. For example, public speaking, or it could be something as informal as guitar lessons, for example. We offer bungees and 20% roles where you are encouraged to spend 20% of your time in a work which is different from your core role. A bit of a fun fact, Gmail was actually set up as a 20% project initially, and that's something that we use daily. And we encourage internal mobility. I think one of the awesome things about Google is it has its very own like internal careers website. A lot of the roles that go externally, unless very, very niche, are normally published internally first. And I think what that means is you get a bit of a shortcut to seeing the many different opportunities that are available. It's very easy to reach out to the recruiters or the hiring managers to have a bit of an informal chat about the position and whether or not it's suitable for you. I myself, I've been at Google for 5 years and pivoted twice. And for me, that suits me because I'm someone that always wants to try and learn new skills and do different things. And we show up for each other. So I mentioned earlier ERGs, right? We've got circa 40,000, I think it is, Google employees who are part of volunteer-led communities. And these are individuals and folks who come together to work on things like community outreach and initiatives that matter for them. We have G2D instructors, so these are people that are dedicated to supporting other Googlers. I'll give another example. So we recently had a all hands, which is like a large team meeting. And in that, we was given a guided meditation session by a software engineer in India who's also a yoga instructor. And I think it's very rare that you kind of get that sort of dynamic. And there's tons of different mentorship and coaching programs. Depending on what your preferences are, you certainly have the opportunity to learn and do more. I'm going to hand over to Stuart, who's going to put a bit of a spotlight on some of the many opportunities we have available.
Cool. So nice little segue from that last point in terms of mentoring and coaching. So internships is one of those pieces that we have at Google. Like globally, there's a big presence of our intern community and our graduate kind of opportunities we have there as well. So typically we say intern versus full-time. So full-time would mean those who have kind of graduated or are about to graduate, like you can start a full-time role. Internships are generally those who are still in their last few years of studies, want to gain a bit of experience kind of within the more corporate world in a professional environment and kind of put their skills to the test on some kind of meaningful projects kind of at Google. So the hiring timeline usually for internships, so our graduate hiring happens all year round as roles kind of open up, as teams have kind of roles and demand, but the intern hiring starts next week. So like we're entering the territory of September where it usually kicks off our hiring. So our roles will go live in the middle of September with all of our interviews happening kind of in the lead up to Christmas. So kind of we get lots of applications, we go through all of the applications and start inviting folks to interviews. And then we have a matching process where you get to meet with different teams who are hiring interns for the next year, get to learn about their projects, the team, the tools, the products that they use to kind of see if it's a mutual match, and then join over the summer months. Typical technical roles that we like to spotlight, obviously software engineering is one of them. So these are kind of the folks that do all of the coding, keep everything running at Google, so making sure that Search, Gemini, all of these fun things work for the outside communities, and also for us internally. I think I'll go crazy if Gemini doesn't work, because I use that for all of my emails now. Then also we have our site reliability engineering interns as well. Both of these opportunities are offered across EMEA, across the European locations, and globally. And all of our internships are open to bachelor's, master's, and PhD. So you'll see different roles for depending on the degree level that you're currently in. General interview process for these roles, applying online, coding assessments, 2 interviews, and obviously that matching process before offer, kind of should you be successful in that. Then we have our business roles. So our business internships join teams across finance, marketing, sales. So not all of our roles are always technical. So they identify challenges, bring solutions to clients, and all of those sorts of things. Locations vary for these, so it depends on the organisation that perhaps you'll be going into. So cloud has a footprint across the region. Our Google customer sales is predominantly in Dublin. Our large customer sales is within different countries. So it really depends on what you're interested in. And these roles are all online. Again, open to bachelor's, master's. I guess these ones generally MBA rather than PhD. So you can kind of have a look at the specific requirements on there as well. All of these roles, you can go to google.com/students. You'll see them all on there from mid-September. They're not on there yet. The PhD ones are, but the kind of bachelor's and masters aren't quite there yet. And then graduate roles, I'll just keep spitballing. So again, software engineering, sales roles, all of these, they're open all throughout the year. So depending on what your interests are, you can go to the careers website and kind of have a look on there for locations, role type, whatever it might be.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you all.